Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to the 400 Mini Show, an exploration of the built-in games on the 400 Mini retro gaming console and onwards into the broader Atari 8-bit library of games. Today's game is Pogo Joe, a 1983 release from Screenplay, developed by William F. Denman and a few assistants depending on which platform's version we're talking about. Its initial, and to my knowledge only release, was a dual format copy for Atari 8-bit and Commodore 64, with the package taking the unusual step of including both the cassette and disc versions of both platforms' games in a single package, rather than selling them separately. Pogo Joe is an obvious Q Bert clone, but it aimed to position itself as being superior to its inspiration. Its marketing made a big deal of how it featured 10 monsters and 64 screens, and there was even a $10,000 competition around the time of its original release. A password appears after completing the 10th screen in the game, and anyone submitting this password to Screenplay would be entered into a draw to win the money. Online history doesn't appear to have recorded who won that $10,000, or even if the competition ever actually came to fruition, but the marketing stated, "Even if you don't win, you can't lose. Pogo Joe is so much fun you'll jump for joy no matter what." I used to really like this game as a kid, and I've been looking forward to returning to it. So let's go play Pogo Joe.
Okay, here we are with Pogo Joe, copyright 1983. A game I'm quite fond of, by William F. Denman Jr., audiovisuals, music and game, copyright by Screenplay, programmers Edward N. Hill Jr., William Denman, and some others there. So you see, it was a team effort. Rather than just an individual person's work. So adjust your colour now. This was to make sure that the game was going to look correct on your TV set. Not something that was a standard thing that all games did by any means, but yeah, they felt the need to do that here for some reason. Okay, so we begin with the configuration screen here, that we can adjust things using the keyboard. So if you're on the 400 Mini, you'll want to adjust these using either the on-screen keyboard, which you can pop up by pressing the menu and home buttons together, or you can connect a USB keyboard. I'm just going to leave all this stuff as standard for the minute though, and then you press return to start the game. Player 1, screen 1, simple like Mike. So your job in Pogo Joe is to jump around on your pogo stick and paint all of the cylinders. There we go, very simple. Now, you'll notice that the monsters are appearing, some of the 10 monsters that were promised by the marketing material. And a bit like Flip and Flop that we looked at ages ago, you can jump through the monsters while they are hopping, but you got to time that very carefully. Or you can hop on one of these flashing pads here, which will blow up all the monsters. And you'll see that at certain times you need to make a double jump across a gap, which you do by holding the fire button and pushing the direction you want to jump in. Troutman's special recipe. Whoops. If you jump into an enemy while they are in egg form, you can destroy them. But as you can probably see, they don't stay in egg form for very long, so... You gotta be pretty quick. But as you can hopefully see, you can stay out of the way of the enemies fairly easily. A bit of strategic moving around. And making good use of those smart bomb panels. Enzyme stew. So this is like a bonus stage. Oops. Where the cylinders are invisible. But if I remember correctly, if you get yourself into a situation where you can't reach a cylinder. There you are. You'll get a shadow bonus depending on how many cylinders are left, but only if you've managed to clear the majority of the screen. And you'll see you can actually do the double jump in situations other than when you're going across gaps as well. So you can use that as a means of avoiding the baddies. Next stop, Rollerama. Yeah. I remember always being quite fond of this game for its bizarre level names. I've never been entirely sure what all the level names are referring to, but... Oh, those little diamond things, or the mask things, they are actually unpainting the squares, but you can defeat them by running into them. So that's something you need to pay attention to. There we go. Butterfly Zabri. I love Joe's sprite. He doesn't look much like he looked like on the title screen because he's bald here, and he clearly had hair on the title screen. But I don't know. There's a lot of personality to him. That big silly grin he's got in his face, and the fact he doesn't appear to be wearing any trousers. Free association. Right. Not sure what those black squares do. I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh, those ones kill you. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the black squares will teleport you from one to the other. That one that killed me, you have to jump on it when it doesn't have the symbol on it. Yeah, so the black squares are teleporters. I don't think you can paint them. Or maybe you can, I don't know. Oh dear. Oh, we're just one screen away from a potential $10,000. There we go. Heart like a head. Right, this one, the things are invisible. So you have to jump around and try and find them before you can actually jump on them. And you can also use where the enemies are to figure some of those things out for yourself as well. So I guess in this instance the level name is supposed to be a clue. Another baddie over here. There we are. There's your message. PAX. If you sent that to what were they called? Screenplay. You would be entered into a draw to win $10,000. Right, so we now reach the stage where we have to jump on each tile twice. I suppose in some scenarios it might actually be desirable to leave the enemies where they are. If you've got enemies that are easy to deal with, you might actually just want to leave them be rather than smart bombing them. But obviously the masks are a bit of a problem. Right, we're now down here. Whee! Oh, this is tricky. There we go. It's done now. It is done. Tennis antibody. Right, this one we're back to just single hops required. Lots of enemies to deal with. Do seem to be able to defeat some of the enemies just by jumping on them. I'm not entirely sure what's determining that. Well, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Pee-wee's Funhouse. Right, this is probably another shadow bonus one. Oh, I've made an error. Drums over Malta. Is it a double jump one? No, it is not. Oh no, I've died. I have died. It's nice that the colour changes with each life, just to give things a bit of variety. Oh, done it again. Game over, player one. You set a new Pogo record. Tell me your name. Pete. And there we are. Back to the intro again. With a slightly less than elegant resetting of the system, that looked like. So, programmers William Denman, expert assistant by Randall Don Mastela, music director Stephen Baumrucker. Alright. Let's have another go at this. Okay, so the options you got here, you can play 1 or 2 players with 1 or 2 joysticks. It's just turn-based rather than simultaneous. Standard game just sort of puts you on the default settings. Screen Tour will cycle round a bunch of the screens and show you what they are without you being able to play them. You can also choose what wave to start on, how fast Pogo Joe is and how fast the monsters go. And also choose whether or not the monsters are allowed to double jump like you are. So you really can tweak quite a few things about how this game plays according to how you prefer to play. So you can make it easier for yourself, or you can make it much, much harder if you want to as well. Right, let's go again. Simple, like Mike. And jump, and jump. This is one of many examples of games from the period making use of classical music as their backing. Not sure offhand what the main theme is, but you can certainly hear a bit of Bach's Toccata and Fugue there, very famous piece of music. Oh no, it's going very poorly. But this is one of those games that the music has stuck in my head for many, many years. There's certain games I always think of when someone mentions the Atari 8-bit, and this is one of those games, almost entirely because of this music. because it's a very simple little tune, but it's distinctive, and I think it fits the atmosphere of the game really nicely. It's just a nice, gentle, sort of slightly cheerful piece of music. And it just fits the action really well. Get out of here. And you, get out of here. Right. Enzyme Monsieur. Alright, let's see if we can clear the whole thing this time. If we jump over here first. And take care of all of them. And just work our way around methodically. That's the trouble. Getting round with all the enemies. There we go. Mutant Street. So I guess what happens is your shadow bonus starts at 5,000 and then it reduces by according to how many panels you left, I think. I thought it was giving you a bonus according to how many panels were left, but that doesn't make a lot of sense really, so I guess that's how it works. Next stop, Rollerama. Yeah, this is a nice little game. There were a fair few games of this style around at the time on the Atari 8-bit. So, I mean, there was a good port of Q Bert. But as much as of an indisputed classic as Q Bert is, it's hard not to feel like it's incredibly limited when you compare it to something like this. That has much more variety in its levels. And it's just generally a more interesting game, I think. But yeah, there's numerous others we've seen previously on the Atari A to Z series, such as Flip and Flop, which is an excellent game, which is included on the 400 Mini. There's Juice, which is a personal favourite of mine that I always come back to. And lots of other games on a sort of similar theme about painting things. So, I mean, you could make an argument that Bristles, which we looked at a few episodes ago, you could make an argument that Bristles is in that same ilk of things, because in that game you're painting a house rather than painting tiles on a three-dimensional arrangement. It's the same sort of idea. Fill in all the spaces. I guess it almost sort of comes back to Pac-Man in some ways. In that it's a twist on the collecting everything sort of subgenre of action game. PAX Terror Lunch. Notice that was what this one was called. Oh, I love the level names. Right, it's a double dipper. Right, you get out of here. Oh, where now? This is a tricky level. Where do I go from here? And jump over there. And over there. There we go. Okay, very nice. Then from here down to here. Oops! Do 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 do. Okay, then hop across there. Oh, annoying mask boy. Yeah, see, there I killed the enemy, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just not entirely sure of the rules of when you kill them and when they kill you. Tennis, antibody? Right, let's deal with this one quickly. So they kill you. I assume you can kill the enemies that are erasing your spaces. And maybe there's a type of enemy that is not the floating tragedy masks who do that as well. I think that might be what's happening. I'll try and keep an eye out for what's going on. Alright, let's try and do this correctly. Oh no. Yeah, that is what happens. So your shadow bonus is 5,000 points if you clear all of the tiles. And it counts down for every tile you've left until you have nothing. Yeah, this is a tricky old stage, isn't it? Try and save those smart bombs when we really need them. Like now! Oh dear. Oh dear. I do like the jumping sound effect in this. It's the same sound effect used in Juice. And I don't know, there's just something I really like about it. Dunkin' Doughboys. Sounds delicious. Oops. That's it. That's all, folks, I leave. There we go. Okay, so that is Pogo Joe. A game I am still rather fond of. And I think it's another one of those games that I just inextricably associate with the Atari 8-bit. Like I say, there was a Commodore 64 version as well that I'm not familiar with at all. But again, it's just one of those games that I think someone says Atari 8-bit games and I think, oh, Pogo Joe. As one of several that immediately spring to mind anytime I'm sort of playing word association with the platform or whatever. But yeah, it's a great game. Well worth spending some time with. Like I say, if you're going to play it on the 400 Mini, do bear in mind that to operate the menu here and to enter your name, you will need to use either the software keyboard or the or plug in a USB keyboard, because you can't do everything through the joystick because there's not enough buttons. There might be, actually. No, because you won't be able to do numbers and stuff, will you? But anyway, yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game worth spending some time with, and one I'm rather fond of personally. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that and revisiting that with me. Just remains for me to say, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.